Yo, what's good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family, and welcome back again to your Kaspa crypto live stream. And in a very bullish case right now, Ethereum is going parabolic, up 6.61% on the daily time frame. And as we should know, the typical altcoin season tends to start with Ethereum rallying a lot first, and then that kind of indicates altcoins will start to rally, and that capital will trickle down into the alternative assets. We can see some assets like GFAL are up 15%, Naka, so two of the gaming assets in that regard, up 10%. You've got HBAR up 5%, Algorand up 7%. You've got assets like XRP up 4%, Sui up 6%, Tau up almost 8%, Say up 5.5%, and of course you've got Kaspa. Kaspa right now was down earlier today and now is currently valued at 9.33 cents, up roughly 4.08% on the daily time frame. And in accordance to the title, Kaspa is about to go, quote, God mode in 2 weeks. That's off the back of AI bots and sources. We'll get into this post in a little bit more detail in a moment, where, simply put, no chance ZK rollup plus 10 BPS proof of work is God mode for AI. Now, of course, we do have smart contracts, so in that regard, sort of like ZK rollups, smart contracts for Kasplex coming out in 18 days, so a little over 2 weeks from now, which is extremely bullish news all around. And we'll get into this post going through my chronological order that I set out the stream for in a short moment, but we are at the point now where Kaspa is starting to see continual accumulation, continual go mode. More and more's happening right now. We have got a post, some seemingly update regarding USDC Circle in regards to Kaspa. We've got a very nice document, if you will, or post here from the Moose is a Loose 5 here on Kaspa, which is talking about the emergence of demand, and then of course how that correlates to Kaspa as well, which I'm sure some of you here will appreciate that. Definitely Cryptoni when he does tune in later on. But this is ultimately again a testament to where we're at right now in the space, and while Kaspa is lackluster, that's about to hopefully, at least in our belief and in my belief, change very soon. Especially if those of you who remembered in the video that I posted yesterday, and even the stream we did last time, I did cover briefly and showcase some snippets from one of my alpha documents from Signum Bank, which showcased institutional confirmation that we could see the cycle extend into 2026. And one of the catalysts for that, which I'm also gonna guess, I'm saying I'm leaking it now, I've been talking about it beforehand anyways, but now this document confirmed it. One of the catalysts was ETF filings, alongside regulatory clarity and other stuff as well, which again, if you want to find out more, again, check out the VIP. Those who are in there know what's coming. They are very bullish about it, and that's why we continue to accumulate, and we're not panicking in the slightest just yet, because we know we've got more time ahead of us. And I highlight that today because we have got this post here on CNBC with Nate Gadassi, who is perceived as the expert in ETF filings, where Nate Gadassi is talking about we should be expecting a, quote, boatload of crypto ETFs to come to the market within the next 2 months. Now, I'm aware that you've got the likes of XRP who have many ETF filings, their deadlines reaching their concluded end by October, end of October. So we are currently in August, 2 months from now, August, September, October. So we should be seeing XRP ETFs alongside likely HBAR ETFs, maybe even Solana ETFs. We should be seeing a, quote, boatload of ETFs coming in the next 2 months. We'll get to this post later on in the stream as well. But what we are right now, and evidently proven by the way the market's behaving right now, Bitcoin is seeing a little bit of a pullback after that massive rally we saw. Evidently saw quite of a fake out, ended up being negative on that day, but now we're currently just short of 120k, and Ethereum is rallying to back to levels we have not seen since December 2021. Ethereum is on the cusp right now of breaking out and making new highs. Price-wise, market-wise, I think Ethereum is actually at all-time highs. Let me quickly double-check that. But we are at a very unique point where the market is finally turning, and there's still so many more catalysts to come out that the market could continue rallying in this fashion for the foreseeable months ahead. How long, again, we've got to replay it by airplay reactionary. I did see some people in my comment section, which they're well entitled to say what they want to believe, saying that no matter what YouTuber tells you, sell everything in November, December. And I'm not saying that's incorrect. You sell and you have your own trading strategies. My information and my sources aren't my own. And they are my own, but they're based off other sources like institutional documents. I'm not just telling you this because, I want, like other people might do. I'm not telling you stuff because I want you to keep holding your bag so I can use you as liquidity. I would never think of doing something like that. Of course, the trust me, bro, but I like to believe I've got the trust here of you lot to where you would believe I wouldn't do something like that, and I wouldn't. And I've showcased sources of that. The fact that these institutions and the smarter money, where the money's actually going, they're the ones who are talking about this market going on longer. So again, the way I want to perceive it is you shouldn't be, at least for me, as an investor, I don't think I want Kaspa to reach $2 and I'm going to sell there. Or I don't think I'm going to sell Kaspa in December. No, I analyze how the market's doing based on tools, not on the time of year or the price of the asset, on tools that determine the trajectory of the asset, because that's a more accurate measurement. So that's at least my 2 cents on the matter in that regard. Point being is we're now getting back into the content. Welcome back again, everyone, to the live stream. Brother, welcome back again. First to the chat, love to have you back again, my man. Greg, you too. Second to the chat again. Falco, what's up, brother? Andy got 69 more capital today. Love that. Keep stacking that bag, brother. Welcome back, Matt. Hello, my brother. Crypto Matt. Oh, welcome, my man. Good to have you here once again, you legend. Wyatt, Yo J and Caspian, welcome back, Wyatt, bro. You're doing very, very well. And LB on the check-in once more. I seen a God mode in the thumbnail and I ran here. What's up, chat and Jay? As you should. So let's get into the content right now. Ethereum looking so good. The markets are showing a lot of strength, and hopefully Kaspa is going to show a lot more of that with what is on the horizon. So I guess the first bit to start off with is the macro data. You may not care about it too much, but macro is inherently very important, as institutions confirm as well. And I've already covered it to my VIPs, so they're already aware, and they were aware hours beforehand. But simply put, we got the reports back regarding CPI and also core CPI, which the CPI inflation was 0.1 lower than expected, and core CPI was actually 0.1 higher than previously. So as a result of this information, it's not a nothing burger, but it's not really caused any significant certainty in the markets, because core CPI is still increasing, yet CPI is actually lower than expected. So it looks like inflation for the most part is somewhat under control. And when you pair that with the terrible job report data we got right here, it's quite evident that the Fed are still in the need to do something quite drastic. If inflation is staying relatively level, but the job market is crumbling around you, they've got to take action. As a result of that, we have seen the odds rise from high 70s to now 82% of us seeing rate cuts in September. Again, those odds can continue to fluctuate, but right now things are looking good, and that's also why sentiment is looking very good for the markets. And then in regards to Ethereum, what we can see here, spot Ethereum ETFs record over $1 billion in daily net inflows for the first time ever, hence why Ethereum is rallying so much. And once more, proof to you, this cycle is not the same. Ethereum has ETF for a very, very long time, but it was performing terribly, like the rest of the altcoins, for a very, very long time. This is an institutionally driven cycle for the first time ever. We cannot continue to act in the same ways that we have done in the past. That's not saying that the previous methods won't work. That's not what I'm saying at all, because there are reasons why these tools exist. They work for a reason. But if you are, as an investor, at least for me personally, how I perceive it, if you're an investor or a trader and you have your strategies that worked in the last cycle and they're working now, great, good for you, and I hope that continues. But we have to remain knowledgeable. We cannot be ignorant to the fact that institutions are here for the first time ever. They are taking over this market. They are dominating it. For the first time ever, we've seen $1 billion worth of ETF inflows for Ethereum, and Ethereum's now up 7% almost. Above 4.5k. Institutions are now taking action. And Ethereum's price is likely going to rally from this point onwards as well. How much higher? Again, we've got to wait and see. We have still got more time ahead of us. Still got more regulatory frameworks to come through, more Fed action to come through. And again, a whole plethora of things that I've mentioned in the past and equally covered in our VIP doc. That's also why I take a lot of pride in the information that I provide to my VIPs. Not just, again, the trades and the private live streams, and equally the educational videos. There's also the alpha information provided in there. These documents we provide from institutions, from PwC, Coinbase, JP Morgan, Deloitte, KPMG, Signum Bank, and the list goes on. We have literally hundreds of documents in there right now, and they all give us pretty much the exact same idea of what is coming to the cycle. And then one recently that I have leaked in cases about how the cycle could extend, and it's because of the shift in crypto, the maturing nature of crypto, and institutional adoption. The maturing nature, the fact that we've got treasuries being formed right now. So as an investor, your trading strategy should work, but the same way you are as if you're anything, you should be, as human, adaptable. One of the human's best features, why we are the supreme species as we perceive it, is because we have adaptability ingrained into our biology. We are adaptable by nature, and that's why we continue to survive the unthinkable, continue to evolve. And the same thing happens in these markets as well. Do you think the Bitcoin maxis who got in Bitcoin early, if they stay true to that fact, do you think they're going to survive? Or do you think they're going to have to adapt and maybe look at something else, maybe Kaspa for that regard? That's an open-ended question. You can decide for yourself. Point being is the markets are evolving, and we are seeing the markets with institutional adoption do very well. Hence why the alpha information I provided my VIPs is one that we use to help guide us into our own trading strategies. So if you want to find out more, again, VIP, link down below in the description. You can join for free for 7 days or for 1 month for free. If you sign up to BYDFI, the affiliate link exchange we're working with, link down below in the description. And also you check out the steps in our free Discord server. So if you do sign up to BYDFI through the affiliate link, then reach out to me on Discord. I can help you get set up for a 1 month free trial. And you can get an inkling to what's going on in there. And with what's coming up right now, that 1 month could be very important, because I feel like from this point onwards, every single month it's going to get continually more and more and more, and accelerate faster for what's coming out. And the price will likely go up in the crypto market as well. Again, link down below in the description. I hope to see you there. Welcome back, KJI bro. Hope you're doing very, very well, bro. That being said, it's got some more very big information here. This one also, we have got this post here from Circle, or Solid Intel, highlighting that Circle are going to be launching their own blockchain called ARC, which is a very, very big deal, focusing on stablecoins. It's a big deal because as it stands right now, Tether's the biggest, then it's Circle, and then there's more that's coming up the ranks. But in actuality, the next major one, in my belief, is Ripple stablecoin, RLUSD. It's only got 500 odd million market cap. If I go to stablecoins, which is, probably go to filters here, category stablecoins. Yeah, stablecoins here, and I apply it. You can see the big stablecoins here right now. You've got the likes of Tether at the top, then USDC, then you got USDE, DAI, World Liberty, FDUSD, which is one that Kaspa's also been talking to as well, actually. You've got PayPal up there, and then you've got RLUSD. Now, this for me is a very big deal because RLUSD actually only came out end of 2024, December 2024. RLUSD came out. So it's been getting a lot of traction very, very quickly. And that's, I mean, whether you like Ripple or not, that's not the point here. You've got to understand that Ripple have got partnerships. BNY Mellon, one of the world's largest legacy banks, is now a prime custodian of that stablecoin. Hidden Road, a prime brokerage platform, plan to use RLUSD for payments or use it in their infrastructure for their enterprise clients. That's not me trying to sell off XRP and RLUSD. It's me highlighting that this asset, this stablecoin, has a lot of connections, and more importantly, they have a blockchain infrastructure backing it. They have the XRP ledger behind it. That's why RLUSD has been quickly gaining and jumping up the ranks right now, sitting at $650 million market cap after only 8 months, which is insane. You've got PayPal up there, and then you've got USDC. USDC is massive, but a little bit, you know, it's Tether's still far and away above it, but USDC is still very, very big, and also quite evidently the most trusted, regulated, and compliant stablecoin. But they fall short to the likes of RUSD due to our lack of a blockchain behind it, not their own blockchain. They can jump on any other chain, but not their own blockchain. So this here is very big for Circle to have now the ability and now deciding to build their own layer 1 blockchain. In this post here, we can see here, breaking Circle to launch a layer 1 blockchain. Introducing Arc, an open layer 1 blockchain. Arc is designed to provide an enterprise-grade foundation for stablecoin payments, FX, and capital market applications. The EVM-compatible network features USDC as its native gas, along with an integrated stablecoin FX engine, sub-second settlement finality, and opt-in privacy controls, which I think opt-in is very good. Arc will be fully integrated across Circle's platforms and services, which will also remain fully available and interoperable with a dozen of other partner blockchains that Circle supports. That's quite a key part there. Arc is expected to launch in public testnet this fall, which therefore means in the next 1 to 2 months or so. This is big, as Wolfie highlights here, because USDC is a product of Circle, which we will likely see appear on Kasplex and any other layer 2 that can swing it very, very soon. Circle is publicly traded, large entity, and they will likely create many products in the future, such as their own layer 1, and they're making that right now. Point being is, whether here talking about, will remain fully available and interoperable with a dozen of other partner blockchains that Circle supports, that's not guaranteeing that Kaspa or the Kasplex or the Igralab will be that, at least not immediately. But if you do take Johnny's word, and you trust what Johnny said, and you heard what he stated in that interview with XXIM, and as I made a video on this one right here, Johnny mentioned that if the bridged USDC that will be coming onto Kasplex goes according to plan, and it's all proving very, very well, which we have got a post regarding how well the Kasplex has been running so far, which we'll get to that in a moment as well, but if the mainnet also provides a lot of liquidity and also is stable, Circle are inclined to then bridge native, or not bridge, sorry, to build native on Kaspa. And that would therefore increase the possibility of this Arc being another new key blockchain that would be working alongside Kaspa. That's big news. So why is Kaspa going to go God mode in 2 weeks? Well, it is those smart contracts again. So let's get into some of the big Kaspa posts therefore before we come full circle to some other big posts like this as well. So right now, or as of yesterday, even when I was unable to go live, Kaspa ranked 3rd in bullish sentiment, continuing a streak of being in the top 10 almost non-stop for months. Now, Kaspa is not always the most trending, it's not always the best, it's still the price action definitely, but there's no doubt that regarding bullish sentiment, Kaspa is second to none, because people who understand just the basic elements of the technology behind it, they see an asset that has been chopping sideways for a very, very long time. If I switch to the logarithmic, you can see it's been chopping sideways for a very, very long time. See, for a very, very long time, it's been going sideways this whole period here. Things don't go sideways forever. Eventually they move, either move up or down, but because Kaspa's continuing to build more and more, they're not a dead chain, they're still building, and some of their big developments coming out in the next 18 days, in the next just over 2 weeks, in my belief, Kaspa's going to move up. So the bullish sense for Kaspa is understandable because people continue to believe that this project has got a lot to offer, and that will be proven very soon. Very, very soon. See here, nearly $30 million worth of short positions stand to be liquidated if Kaspa price climbs to 10 cents, according to liquidation data. Which, again, Kaspa's got 2.3, 2.4, even maybe 2.5 right now, $1 billion market cap. 2.4, almost $2.5 billion market cap. So that is, not a lot in the grand scheme of things, only 30 million, but it's still something to take into account. It's still quite a bit of capital, and that could potentially cause and trigger a form of short squeeze. Furthermore, Kaspa's funding rates are staying positive. We can see here Kaspa's funding rates have remained positive since late June, showing a constant long bias in the derivatives market. So evidently the exchanges and the traders are more bullish than they are bearish, and again it all seems to be around that 10 cents level. Tony and Joking, I'm sure you're tuning in or watching on playback right now. You heard what C Crypto said. Those who don't know, again, Joking and Tony are part of the VIP, and they heard what our experienced trader was talking about and what he said before Kaspa Daily even posted this stuff here. He said it on Sunday, and he said that this 1 cent, or sorry, this 10 cents, this 0.1 is a crucial level for Kaspa. Crucial. And that's quite evident here. That's quite evident this is a crucial level. It's very, very evident. So should we surpass that? And better still, should we hold that? Because we haven't been able to surpass that just yet. We got close on the 10th, on the Sunday. If we manage to hold and surpass 0.1, which Ethereum rallying right now, almost up 7%. If Kaspa can surpass that, it should look like a very, very reassuring sign that Kaspa about to make that move. And I mean, who knows? Maybe that will become the new bottom for Kaspa. I do still believe that Kaspa has formed that bottom here and the next bottom here, so Kaspa will hopefully not go below that. And furthermore here, to also support the bullish sentiment of Kaspa known exchange holdings have dropped to a new 6-month low, with just 2.19 billion Kaspa sitting on exchanges. This continued decline is available supply suggests reduced sell side pressure. So we're seeing again the sentiment shifting more towards people are buying. People who are buying off exchanges more and more, they're buying off exchanges. People aren't sending it back to them anymore. They're preparing for the move that's about to come up, which again seems to be on the horizon. God mode might be starting in the next 2 weeks. The reason why I think 2 weeks is actually not a bad time frame, despite smart contracts coming out in 18, 19 days or so, is because you'll likely see the FOMO rally up just before that. Will it be the sell the news after that? I would like to believe not. We have to wait and see. Of course, it's not impossible. Might see a bit of a pullback after that. But smart contracts, if everything goes according to plan and it's a good launch, not like the KYC 20s, then I think you'll see a lot more FOMO, shortly after as well. But you see some FOMO rallying up to that as well, with a lot more coming in. Now, I did see the question here from Massimo, which is talking about the report that's been coming from Uphold and Dr. Bottom Heisberg today. Unfortunately, maybe I was trying to delay this live today because I wanted to see the report. It has not come out just yet. And again, you've got to keep in mind that this is America, different time zone right now. For me, to my understanding, I'm not sure what coast Uphold is on. I can check the Uphold HQ, not that it will, I guess, necessarily matter, because it depends on where they're thinking about it. But the HQ is in New York, so if I go from BST to New York time zone, it looks like right now it's almost 4 p.m. So with that being said, you'd like to believe they probably will publish it in the next hour or so. But again, I like to believe they're going to publish it today. They said they're going to publish it today. When it comes out, I will be linking it in my Discord community. So if you want to find out, again, keep up to date with what's coming out, check out the free Discord server. Links down below in the description, and also on my homepage right here as well. We'll find out about that very, very soon. But in light of, again, what this document may cover, this Kaspa 2.0, whatever it may be, in light of it, I do want to get into this post here from Moose, which I actually think is a really intriguing one that I think will also bring a lot more understanding into what Kaspa's about, right? So I'll get to this in a very short moment. Before I do, let me quickly address more questions. DD, welcome back again, brother. Hope you're doing very, very well. And yes, let's go indeed. Welcome back, Wing Hong. We moon yet? No, but we are seemingly mooning right now, which is reassuring stuff. And yes, to answer that question here about when that report's coming through, it should be coming through today, but I guess the timing might be a little bit later. We'll find out soon enough, though, I hope. Welcome back, Brett. Evening to you too, brother. Today's CPI data neutral, not bullish. Yeah, for the most part. Although we did see stocks in particular rally off the back of that, because it was. But here's the thing, right? It wasn't bullish, but sometimes not bad news is good news. If you get bullish news, great. If you get neutral news, that can also be perceived as good news because it's not bearish. Core CPI went up, but core CPI went up. I'm on the wrong day. Core CPI went up, but the CPI stayed the same or was lower than expected. So it's not bullish, it's not bearish, it's neutral, and no bad news, and sometimes even no good news is still good news. So that's why the markets are reacting the way they are right now, where Ethereum is breaking out because it's not been bad news, and then you got institutions just buying up a boatload of Ethereum through ETFs, and you're seeing the market rally, and Bitcoin dominance, of course, is falling off more as a result of that. Now, again, does this mean that Bitcoin dominance is going to start going through that corrective cycle like it did back in this cycle here? Don't know yet. I still believe that Bitcoin dominance could still reach 70%, but that was me saying that based on the fact of historical data, and I've been saying it, and I've got to practice what I preach. We are in a different cycle. Institutions are here for the first time. They may have decided that 66% was fine, because Bitcoin's still you still got more coming up for Bitcoin regarding treasuries and whatnot, and even more buying from institutions who are still waiting on the sidelines. But they may now decide they want to get into the altcoin market a bit, pump up Ethereum more, then get into XRP and Solana and HBAR and all the other ones that I'll be covering the video from Nate Galassi in a moment as well, talking about seeing a lot of ETFs in the next 2 months potentially. Maybe dominance falls off right now. If that happens, then of course you'll see a big rally in altcoins, and how long that will be again depends on the institutional sentiment, not just macro or not just retail. In fact, retail sentiment has less of an effect now. It's pretty much institutions. As the market matures more and more, what institutions want is how it's going to go. Talk more about the KYC tokenomics. I can, and I shall in a moment. I mean, I can cover the assets as they are right here, their market cap, who's holding them and whatnot, and also kind of justify, therefore, how quote-unquote decentralized they are. Of course, Nacho is perceived as the most decentralized with so many holders. And you can also check out, in that regard, the holders, how much they're holding, to give you an understanding of the distribution of such. Each token has their own tokenomics. Some perceived as fair launch. Of course, fair launch doesn't mean they're always safe. For me, KYC 20s will do very well in due time. The only negative I have to say about KYC 20 is the fact that you can just launch, your own one. That can be a scam. And of course, the first launch of KYC 20 was a disaster. The relaunch was better, but still wasn't fantastic. And that did cause complications and a lack of trust around Kasplex. But I'm hoping that they'll make amends with what's about to come out, which we'll get to this post in a moment again. I might come back to that again in a sec, Brad, but beforehand, let me get into this post from Moose and then come all the way back around to more questions. So to get into this post from Moose, the emergence of demand, right? This is a very, theoretical, but also very thought out post here about the history of how, money works, stock flow works, this important element, right, that people have just unaware of, they've forgotten. In the beginning, there was a tiny cost of production and extreme inflation with extremely low stock to flow. Between the first block and second block, you had 100% inflation, but from the second block to the third block, there was only 50%. From the first month to the second, there was 100% monthly inflation. From the first year to the second, 100 yearly inflation. From the second to the third, only 50% inflation. But this is only stock to flow on its own. It is meaningless. This is only one part of the story. Now, I'm going to definitely recommend everyone read through this whole thing for yourself and try and come to an understanding yourself about it. I'm not going to read it word for word because I'll be, for one, discrediting this man's work, but also it would be like reading from a PowerPoint, so I will summarize it as I try to do. It's ultimately just giving a rundown of the early development of Bitcoin in comparison to Kaspa. Obviously, we should know about the fact that people actually utilize and, spent money on pizza to Bitcoin. Ridiculous, right? People who did that, back in the day, while having a laugh about it or whatnot, evidently they're kicking themselves about that right now, deciding to buy 2 pizzas worth about 10,000 Bitcoin. Imagine having 10,000 Bitcoin right now. 10,000 Bitcoin right now, you'd be filthy rich. Filthy rich. But again, that is just, I guess, how it just went out. Point being is, talks about how the point being is, despite the fact that the people who bought pizza with Bitcoin are unfortunate, I'm not going to say they're stupid because, who was to truly know, but they were unfortunate in that endeavor. But this, for, in the nature of crypto, is still a very important event because it showcased and demonstrated that Bitcoin could be used, at least back then in that sense, as a form of money. That crypto could be used as a form of money. You saw, mining companies like Mt. Gox and whatnot, be able to make a lot of profit through their mining costs compared to the market price of Bitcoin, therefore, which, create more of an incentive for you to mine Bitcoin. And then even has Silk Road, which has generated real world demand for Bitcoin, using it as a currency for goods and services and whatnot. So there was actual, demand for Bitcoin and crypto in the early days. Even in the early days right now, of course, there's a lot of demand for Bitcoin right now. But this whole kind of segment here kind of highlights the importance of the early days of Bitcoin and how demand was formed. So how is any and all of this applicable to Kaspa? Another beginning, one that builds on Bitcoin's lessons but charts its own course. So it's talking here, implying the exact same things: the pizza transactions, the rise of Mt. Gox and Silk Road, to Kaspa now. Talking about how with Kaspa's GameNet phase, if you will, the kind of how the market is right now, very PvP. It's like the current market is very casino based. You know, you can see here. In the first weeks, it ran in GameNet mode, an experimental phase with random block rewards, anywhere from 1 to 1,000 Kaspa. Luck to effort ratios were chaotic, creating a casino-like environment that tested miners' resolve. Yet developers, early adopters, and speculators jumped in from day one, making it decentralized from out the gate. Miners powered through on pure speculation, betting on future scarcity and utility in a block DAG system promising Bitcoin security with far greater speed, 1 block per second to start. That's how Kaspa started off at November 7th, 2021. No pre-mine or ICO, but casino style. Then you had the next phase we got into where you had this phase where the early period of the early miners basically were forced to become their own elements of market makers. They had to create demand for their coins. And then you got the Mt. Gox alternative being TradeOrg, which is one of the first centralized exchanges that offered a cash USDT trading pair. And that, allowed for a more calculable profitability, which attracted even more people. Again, without these exchange listings, Kaspa wouldn't have got to where it's at right now. So you had this kind of snowball effect, the same way to Bitcoin only is happening right now. Not to mention, Kaspa being used for payments already in some other parts in the world. And then, the next phase, which is currently where I believe we're at right now, is the sort of where this part, or not where we're at right now even, but kind of where we are kind of coming out of now, is this kind of predictable element, so I'm making more so here, where we saw deflationary supply schedules similar to Bitcoin halvings, which increased the cost of production and inherent value. So we saw quite evidently early on Kaspa proving that it was going to go up more and more due to excessive reductions, halvings every year, which of course it rise up really, really high. And then of course you've seen this long burnout to where you've seen, as it highlights in this, the emergence of Ethereum's merge in 2022, which displayed GPU miners seeking new projects. And then you also had the ASICs, which were external events which introduced a mass influx of new miners and specialized hardware, which increased competition and decentralization. So the whole early days of Kaspa effectively was one similar to Bitcoin, and then you saw a lot of developments taking place that kind of drive so much demand, early demand for Kaspa, to cause it to soar so high. And now it's come through like, okay, we've had that burst now. Now it's time to get to, what Kaspa is not a speculative asset. This is all based on just making profit from mining and speculation. Now it's got to showcase what it can do, which is what's coming out right now. So in the last part of this, which I think is very interesting, it talks about the Carnot engine, which is ignited differently but efficiently. GameNet chaos fueled early speculation. Static issuance forced market making. Chromatic scarcity drove front running and external events. ETH merge and ASICs hardened the system. Unlike Bitcoin's slow burn, Kaspa's design, block DAG scalability, fair launch at full equity, accelerated the cycle, emitting over 90% of its supply by 2025 while keeping fees low and throughput high. The core principles hold. Cost equals value until demand emerges from usability. Bitcoin's usability will fall short because it hasn't got the ability to be quick. Fast peer-to-peer transfers is the usability of Kaspa, and speculation on finite supply. By 2025, with major exchange listings like Binance or Coinbase still pending due to fair launch hurdles, Kaspa's engine hums, ready to soar when scarcity kicks in, real adoption like DeFi and payments takes increased hold. Demand is an emergent phenomenon, but more so when you get so much more for so much less. Kaspa is following in Bitcoin's footsteps. It's done an accelerated path of Bitcoin. But the thing is, if Kaspa did this really, really early on, it would have died. In my belief, if Kaspa had done this design where Bitcoin launched, it probably would have died. Because it would have, had no usability, would have come and went so quickly. The fact of the matter is, this cycle's matured to the stage where things happen quickly now. Institutions like BlackRock, went from saying crypto's a scam 2 years ago. And they launched the Bitcoin ETFs in June 2023, and they got approved in January 2024. We're 2 years on from that. A year and a half of Bitcoin ETFs. You've had the SEC, as of beginning of 2025 now, finally give some form of clarity to crypto. Point being is the space is now shifting drastically with institutions getting involved now, having a very, very high throughput and very accelerated cycle sort of thing with Kaspa is now possible and won't, in my belief, cause too much damage, if any damage, because the space in itself is accelerating faster and faster, and Kaspa therefore is just leading or keeping up with the times. As AI XBT, AI agent highlights here, there's no chance, I'm not sure this is responding to, but I'm sure there's no chance that Kaspa falls off, right? Because you had ZK rollouts with 10 BPS, which is for proof of work, which is God mode for AI. Point being, you see AI applications also coming onto Kaspa because of what's being built. What's being built is going to drive so much more demand to Kaspa as well. And this is again where we get into smart contracts. We've got this report here from Kasplex, which is great to see right now. Key statistics for our layer 2 testnet on Kaspa, which is now going to come to an end very soon. Block generations. Total block generated was 2.6 million. Our layer 2 architecture employs an efficient block generation model that produces blocks only when layer 2 transactions are present, eliminating unnecessary empty block creations. So 2.6 billion is quite impressive for almost 3 months. And again, that's on a testnet, not even a mainnet, and when Kaspa is still growing in adoption. Transaction throughput, total was 14 million, which is also very impressive, again, considering it's a testnet. Think about when KRC20 was first launched on a mainnet. It's not first, the relaunch, that went to 16 million. So you're seeing that sort of volume on a testnet in the span of 3 months almost again, but therefore you can see probably quite a lot of traction, I like to believe, with the launch of smart contracts on the mainnet. Average transaction density was 5.4 transactions per block. You saw 1 BPS, active wallet addresses, 270,000, which is also very impressive. Indicates strong community engagement and network participation during testnet phase. And upcoming milestones is a security audit. Our comprehensive layer 2 security audit is nearing completion and will be probably released upon finalization. These metrics demonstrate the robust performance and scalability of our Kaspa layer 2 solution during the testnet phase, positioning us for a for mainnet deployment. And again, if the mainnet deployment is very, very good, we will be seeing Circle more than likely launch on the Kasplex, the USDC, and then after a very successful test section, which they mentioned, or as Johnny mentioned, the Circle mentioned, you'll see natively building, which will be huge, and also bring more adoption to Kaspa as well, and more trust to Kaspa as well, being a key part of that. Developer Kaspa is coming through thick and fast. You got Kaspador here, who's working with Kasplex as well, creating this Clean.app, which is fully set to the Kasplex blockchain. It means you can now see on the fly any approvals you are making and at the same time revoke them if needed. That's also very, very cool. You're seeing Cascade, which is a new project that just come out here, which again, be very careful, of course, do your own research. They're aiming to basically provide loans backed by Kaspa, and they're going to be attending the event in September in Berlin, which is also exciting stuff. Berlin looks like going to be a very, very big event for Kaspa as well. You've got this post here from ZSwap giving a rundown of another key feature of theirs being liquidity staking, which is something that I think is definitely worth looking into if you want to, expand in the crypto market. Because crypto is not just a case of buying and holding for the future. There's so much more you could do in crypto. I'm not saying you need to, again, you do what you're comfortable with, but there's stuff regarding future trading, just general trading, degen trading. It's also regarding yield farms and liquidity pools and whatnot, all these other elements that you can get involved into to help generate more capital, make your money work for you. That's stuff we're going to be providing. That's stuff we already are providing, and we're providing more so in the VIP in the coming, future. But they give a whole rundown here how it works. I'll be linking in my community once more. And then we also got here as another post from Kaspa here, which is, I think, well, it's not anything major, but it's Chad here, who is the prior runner of the Kaspa currency Twitter page, and now the one of Kaspa Commons here, who's basically just seeking, or making a shout out seeking funding support for Rhubarb Media. They've been about since May 2022, who've been helping Kaspa Social and whatnot, and they're asking for some funding and Chris Hutchinson just highlights here, if you value the work Chad and the Rhubarbians continue to do and contribute towards the many things of Kaspa, then please consider helping contribute towards. Now, it's going to be very hard, I'm sure, to get any funding because Kaspa's price is not there yet. If Kaspa was high in value, I think you see people more selfless. But I do think Rhubarb Media is a very, very integral part of Kaspa's community. They have done a lot to help out. So seeing them go would be unfortunate. So hopefully there are people who are able to step up. I do plan to contribute a little bit, if I can do, to Rhubarb Media as well, because I do think they are a very big part of the community and should see a lot more coming through as well. That being said, I'll get some more questions quickly before I get into what I perceive to be a very, very important interview here from CNBC, from Nate Gadassi, which again highlights how much time until we see potentially this massive explosion of capital coming into market from institutional adoption. Next question comes here from LB. It's 4 p.m. here. Scott Bessent was on my train yesterday. He was checking stocks and talking to Trump. That's crazy. Actually, I don't know. Just for me, the thought of Scott Bessent being on a train just seems weird to me. I thought they just all go around in like private cars and whatnot. Fair enough. I mean, crazy stuff. Neutral is good. You're right. I prefer neutral to bearish. Oh yeah, 100%. You don't want bearish CPI. What's up, Dimitar, bro? You're doing very, very well. Future Crypto Elite is here. 5 USD is bearish. I mean, again, I'm not going to be giving up price prediction for Kaspa, but 5 USD is about 130 billion for Kaspa, which is currently only at 2.4. So you're asking for quite a lot. But at the same time, depending on market sentiment, depending on the market does elongate into 2026 and what's coming up for Kaspa, Circle, all the other big departments, and again, you get Binance and Coinbase as well. The sky's the limit for Kaspa. The Kaspa, I think, is a couple months out. I'd like to believe, not financial advice, a couple months out from going into price discovery once again. I think we're a couple months out. We'll have to wait and see, though. Has she talked about the Twitter rumors about Kaspa's huge partnership? Sounds like Circle USD. I have talked about it a little bit. I have seen people in my community talk about this huge alleged partnership as well. I have no idea what it is. The only one I could think it to be would be Circle. It's the only one that seems to make sense. I guess we'll find out in the near future. It could also just be people trying to engagement farm, truth be told, because I don't know who's necessarily posting them. If I quickly check my community, and I'm not trying to be people who posted that, someone called, no, not that one. You had one from Lovren Crypto who posted that, which I know the guy. That guy. Now someone else as well said it as well. Yeah, there's this individual here as well. So you got Lovren here who posted about that. Only but people call that for a scam. I'm not exactly sure whether sentiment about a big partnership coming through. Like I don't know who's getting the information from. I'm not sure how deep Lovren is into the Kaspa community either, and he's a big account. You know, so him endorsing Kaspa sounds like a very big deal. But I'm not sure where he's got the information from. And equally here as well from Catherine, who also has made a post regarding the same post here about apparently there's a huge partnership coming through as well. Again, if that's the case, cool. But without any sources, you know, I just don't know what to say. I mean, the engagement farming, same was blame of Shy. Apparently they're telling in a day, so apparently we'll find out tomorrow. I don't know. Again, I don't know. The truth of the matter is, I'm a guy who tries to strive for information and sources to support my statements. It doesn't mean that I don't spread speculation myself here and there. You know, it's fun to do at times, but I try to find a source for information. So I haven't spoke about it publicly too much about the supposed rumor, unless I have, you know, if the partnership name was like, Binance or no, like I don't know, Bitcoin and Kaspa partner. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something weird. Like if it was like, let's just say Circle. Let's just say it was Circle Kaspa partner. If it was like a confirmed coming up tomorrow Circle Kaspa partnership, that was the name you had given, I'd talk about it. But I'm just hearing huge Kaspa partnership coming soon. I'm like, I haven't got a name. Like all I'd be doing, I talk about, say, who do you think it is? The people who are most likely to be is Circle, but we have no confirmation of that. And it wouldn't make much sense for them to be making a partnership, in my belief, before the smart contract even launched yet. Maybe I'm wrong though, who knows. Where's Kryptoni? Yeah, honestly, shame on him, he's not even here yet. Maybe he's tuned in now and I haven't seen him. I don't think he's here yet, no, shame on him. If you're watching on playback, we missed you, and shame on you. Although hopefully you're doing well at the same time. You don't even know what's coming. No one does. No one truly knows how big this space is going to be, and Ethereum is still rallying right now, which is impressive. You know, it's great stuff to see all around. Welcome back, Joe, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. I don't believe we will have an alt run. We have a cost of living crisis, housing crisis in the West, huge rent, etc. 2021 locks down, free government money, and nothing to spend it on people speculating on crypto. I mean, maybe we don't. Again, I'm not here to confirm or deny anything. Historically speaking, we always get an altcoin cycle, and again, based on my institutional sources, it does suggest that we'll be seeing an altcoin cycle and what catalyst will cause that cycle. Of course, us as retailers, we have definitely been bled dry and exhausted. But once more, remember, we are in an institutionally run, driven, dominated cycle now. They don't give a rat's monkeys what we do. Or they do, but they don't want us to get rich, for one. Also, why probably they're dragging this market out so long. But this altcoin cycle, in my belief, will still come, but it's one that institutions are going to drive it. It's not, this cycle has shifted from hyper speculation to utility, and at least it's shifting in that manner right now. Again, the sources I cover in my VIP continuously prove this. When I say altcoin cycle coming, it's my belief, of course, but I don't make this belief just because, trust me, bro. I mean, you are trusting me by me saying that, of course, because I'm not showing you all of the stuff, because again, that's privileged information I give to my VIP. But the VIPs are seeing what we're talking about. When I'm saying altcoin cycle's coming, they're seeing why I'm saying that. They're seeing and knowing that we're in an institutionally driven bull cycle, and the institutions are saying the very same thing. So maybe we don't have an altcoin cycle in the typical sense where we can make money because we are getting exhausted and, you know, squeezed out of our bag. But there, in my belief, will still be one, but institutions will take it over. All I'm doing right now is holding strong on my conviction and continue to stack while I can, while this cost of living crisis is definitely hurting everybody right now. The cycle is all about Bitcoin and institutional money. That's not incorrect. It's definitely about institutional money. So all we can do as investors, as you should do as a... There are two sayings in regards to being a, quote, successful investor. One is you don't follow the pumps. You don't just, you know, follow the green candles. You know, of course, you know, buy low, sell high, but you don't try and time the top and sell the bottom. You know, so you take profits. That's kind of the main thing that successful traders do, for one. The second one is smart money, in particular BlackRock, but they never lose. You follow the smart money. You follow them. It's not been as prevalent necessarily in the last cycle because we didn't have so much in terms of big money. We had a lot of crypto exchanges and whatnot. We didn't have, you know, BlackRock in the cycle. We have them here now. What they're doing will affect the market. What Bank of America are saying, what JP Morgan are saying, what these have a lot more effect on the market right now. So the typical alt cycle is probably dead, but the new one's going to probably be a lot bigger as well. Glad you avoid predicting price, but there are going to be a lot of Kaspa bag holders waiting for impossible numbers due to Moonboy hyping. I agree. And that's ultimately why when people do ask me of price predictions, I don't give you a number, I get you to think. Because I'm not here to think, I'm here to give you information, but you are your own investor. You shouldn't be blindly following people. That's a dangerous game to play. And I'm not a financial advisor. When people ask me, oh, is $5 Kaspa possible? I don't say yes or no. I always say maybe, because truth be told, anything's possible, but I get you to think about it logically. If you want to think about a $5 Kaspa, it's not just a number. More math goes into it. It's the market cap that matters. This number here is the market cap divided by the current circulating supply. So for a $5 Kaspa, you need to see this times by 5 with that. So you need to see this divided by that to equal 5. So that is more or less roughly 130, do the math in my head right now, 132.5 billion. So you need to see a $132.5 billion market cap for you to see a $5 Kasplex cycle. That sounds like a lot, and it is a lot when you've been sitting at max 5 this cycle so far. I'm at 2.5 right now. So you've got to think, is 132 billion too much? That's up for you to decide. I'm not saying yes or no. And then I also provide you more information, not just, again, that's just Kaspa in its own echo chamber. Then I get you to think about the market in its entirety. About the fact that you've got currently a $4.04 trillion market cap, Bitcoin sitting at 2.385 trillion, and you've got Ethereum running up more and more. But I get you to ask yourself the question, if Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin reaches a 3 trillion market cap this cycle, let's just say that's where it peaks, so 150k, maybe it goes higher, who knows, we're still quote unquote early. Let's just say it reaches 3 trillion, right? The question to ask you is, how much of Bitcoin's total market cap can Kaspa attain? How much? That's the question I'm asking. Can Kaspa get 1% of Bitcoin's total market cap? 1% of 3 trillion is 30 billion. So can Kaspa therefore reach 30 billion, which is roughly $1.30, $1.20? Will it get more? Will it get less? But Bitcoin is still the biggest asset by a country mile. So comparatively, you compare it to Bitcoin and think about how much of that market cap can Kaspa take. And then you also have to take into account, so price predictions are, I stopped doing it because it's so hard to really give a proper one, because there's so much to take into account. The KRI and their projects, what other projects like Cardano have done in the past off their smart contract launching, what other projects who are, by tech not as good as Kaspa, like AVAX and Solana, but what they did in their first cycle. Take into account they also have VC backing as well. There's so much to take into account for making price predictions. That's why I don't do it. And I'm not going to, and I also do it because I don't want to say, for example, Kaspa reaches $50 a cycle. Spoiler alert, is not happening. I'm using an extortion because I don't think it's ever going to happen this cycle. A $50 Kaspa would be stupid. If it happens, fantastic. We are literally rolling in it, but it's not going to happen. $50 Kaspa. Let's just say though, I said $50 Kaspa a cycle, which I'm not saying that. And if Mr. Master's here, don't clip that, please, because I can't be asked for your rubbish today. Those who are maybe not as experienced as investors will then decide, okay, I'm not selling any capital $50. And then if it doesn't reach that, you'll then come crying to me. I don't say a price because I don't want you to then think about that. You as an investor should have your own trading strategies and devise your own zones. And you shouldn't think about it in terms of price. You should think about it comparatively to Bitcoin and other assets. And then make a more logical structure based off that. The Moon Boys are saying $10 Kaspa. And that's fine. I'm not saying they're incorrect. I'm never going to say you're incorrect. I might say it's a bit of a reach, but you've got to take into account everything that's happened in crypto, what's happened in the cycle, institutional adoption. Will it even come to Kaspa to give it the price? Will the cycle go into 2026 as well? How long will the cycle be? There's too many variables. So, tangent aside, yes, some bag holders will end up waiting for ages. If you want to hold for the next 10 years, then, go for it. By all means, be my guest. If you want to take profit of the cycle, maybe research into history of price, what affects the price. Again, you could also learn more on my VIP. Shameless plug, I know. I have a habit of doing that now, but in the VIP in here, we are constantly bringing up information from institutional documents and also teaching people how to view the market. We're trying to teach people how about this stuff. Again, we're not financial advisors. We're trying to teach people how to view the market, how to benefit from what's coming in, and how to know what the institutes are talking about. We are already prepared for what's happening this week. We are positioned for what's happening this week because we talked about it on Sunday. If you want to find out more, again, link down below in the description. Also on my homepage here as well, warp.com/coin factory. You can join for free for 7 days, 7-day free trial, or for a month. Should you start to BYDFI, our affiliate exchange, and join for that as well. Want to find out more help, then reach out to me and I will help on Discord. Send me a message on Discord. Just full disclosure, for awareness, there are people who do impersonate me on Discord because I guess I'm big enough now, which, cool. Point being is, if you see an account that looks like it's me messaging you or adding you on Discord, it is never me. It is not me. So what I'd recommend is, if you do want to reach out to me at some point, whether it be now or in the future, if and hopefully when you join my Discord community, the VIP or even the free one, send me a friend request on Discord. I won't, right now, while we're still early, I'm willing to accept people. In the future, when I, if and when we get so big, I may not be as willing, because I don't want to have 1,000 people in my friends list sending messages every single day, respectfully. But right now, also for security reasons, I don't want people to get taken advantage of. I will never message you about anything. I will never ask you for money, ever. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, put your information into this, like a scammer would do. If you want to reach out to me on Discord, send me a message on Discord, and I'll help you out wherever I can to get you set up. I work for Amtrak. He was in okay. He said hello and wanted to talk about crypto, but his goons was in abundance. Fair enough. Wow, great to hear, man. That must have been quite a, I want to say it's a real experience. I mean, I don't know how I'd feel seeing someone with the status of Trump, or even anybody of that sort of status, on a train with me. It'd be quite nuts. Put 20 on Titan X. Never heard of it. I'll load it on here. Oh, I have heard of it. So yeah, someone, it might even be UTB who mentioned it months and months back. I have someone did mention it a while back. Up 12% right now. I mean, that's the price what it looks like right now. I already got Uniswap for a listing. Again, I'm not too well versed about it. Is it AI based? Allows people to mine, stake, and earn on the protocol. Proof of burn. Okay, well, people take that as they will. I'm not too well versed of it. I'm not too inclined to look into it, but again, that's up to everyone else. It's shown on screen. As always, people do your own research and trade at your own discretion. Welcome back, AW bro, you did very, very well. How you can see, nice to catch another stream. Been seeing FUD lately from 6M and Nick about KF dumping on us. What's your opinion? I wouldn't take what Nick says too seriously. Nothing against the bloke, but he's made his Kaspa persona one that's very much built off just fudding and throwing around negativity, which is fine, I haven't necessarily got a big thing against that. I'm kind of the opposite in that regard, but I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot of Nick's posts. He's come out against Shy. He's been very, very competitive against Johnny the KEF, and they've had their own little spat back and forth. He's an opinion. He's got his own opinions, and entitled to his own opinions. I think there's always a reason to be concerned about KRI, KEF, Marathon, whoever it may be, dumping on us. But at the end of the day, they're dumping on us, but Kaspa's still growing more on adoption. It makes it more decentralized. So I don't necessarily believe it, but I also don't necessarily care, if that's fair enough to say. Welcome back, Beeves, man. Welcome back indeed. Hope you're doing very, very well. It's been a minute. Hello, future crypto millionaires, indeed. And you too, Rosa. When did the bull cycle peak? Nobody has a proper idea. Historically speaking, it's normally in Q4, so sometime from October to December. But, as I showcased in the video that I posted yesterday, and equally in the stream I posted before that, and again, in a lot more detail with the link to the source in my VIP, institutional sentiment, and we are in an institution-driven bull cycle, they're suggesting that this cycle may extend into 2026, depending on sentiment, but also take into account that things like rate cuts could also affect that as well, which again was covered in that document. So to give you an idea, nobody knows. But right now, speculation suggests it's still got more to go. That's as much as I'll say. If you want to find out more, again, that VIP is available. You can find out the institutional documents, the stuff from Sigmund Bank and other people who are suggesting this cycle is still got more to go. But in that regard, therefore, we'll likely see a lot more volatility coming through very, very soon, potentially in the next few weeks, as we can see from this interview from Nick Gadassi on CNBC, talking about how we should expect a boatload of ETFs, which, as proven from my documents, is going to be an altcoin catalyst within the next 2 months. So, listen very closely here to this interview.
Of new crypto.
Speaking of crypto, Nate, similar to the push to market we're seeing in IPOs, you're seeing a lot of what you call a boatload of crypto ETF filings. What does that mean, and how does that differ from what we've seen in the past?
Well, it's interesting because the three major stock exchanges, so NYSE, NASDAQ, and CBOE, they have all filed with the SEC for generic listing standards for crypto ETFs, which basically means that the exchanges wouldn't need to seek specific approval for each spot crypto ETF as long as it meets certain criteria. So this would streamline the approval process. And that's important because right now there are filings out there from multiple issuers for XRP ETFs, Solana ETFs, Cardano, HBAR. We could go on down the list, but there are a boatload of filings out there. And the expectation is that the standardized crypto framework will be implemented, say, in the next 2 months or so. And so if and when that happens, I think you're going to see the floodgates open. We're going to see a wave of approvals, and you're going to see, again, a boatload of new crypto ETFs coming to market.
And this is, again, what we have been preparing for. And again, those who are part of my VIP, they knew this months back. We told people months back about this in the VIP, about how the big catalysts and when these ETFs are going to be coming out, seemingly in the latter half of this cycle, going into September, into October time, alongside regulatory frameworks coming through. That will be a opening of the floodgates, if you will, as Nick Gadassi highlights here. We've been knowing about this. We are getting ahead of the game. That's why my conviction and our conviction in there has never wavered for a second. It's been a long, exhausting haul, of course, but we've never been worried about it because we do see what's coming. The empty money supply is still going up high as well, which suggests more capital still flooding in. And it doesn't seem to be falling a British flag, I agree. Definitely, Beebs. Looking very good, honestly. Ethereum right now up 9%. And it's also funny, as you saw from that video, as you saw the little screenshot from CNBC here, you've seen a total amount of investment into Ethereum ETFs at $7 billion from year to date. And we just saw over $1 billion today, and it's still going up. So that shows you how much they're hedging into Ethereum right now. So maybe they're trying to kickstart an altcoin system right now in preparation for what's to come. If the moon models are correct, all the predictions, 20 trillion, yeah, I mean, 20 trillion sounds quite extortionate, you know? So, I mean, I don't see 20 trillion happening because for me, right now, Bitcoin's half the total market cap. So 10 trillion Bitcoin, you know, that's a 500k Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, give or take. If you're seeing a 10 trillion Bitcoin about 500k, so yeah, I think it's a bit much. Bears and bulls have always been historically not bullish enough when Bitcoin peaks. True, but again, we have to just wait and see ultimately. You've got some people like Brad Garninghouse, who's the CEO of Ripple, saying that we'll see a peak of a 200k Bitcoin. Some are saying 250k Bitcoin. End of the day, we don't know. And even then, people like Brad Garninghouse actually said a 150k Bitcoin by the end of 2024, and he was wrong. So, just because they're smart money doesn't always mean they're right. It means you can. That's why when I look at these institutional documents, I don't take them as holy grail either, because that's also not smart. Because they also could be saying it just to, you know, get to kind of fool you. Although these are taken for their enterprise clients here, but you use them as a guideline to help you as your own investor. They're not. Again, they haven't got crystal balls. They're better at judging the market than we are because they have better tools, like the Aladdin supercomputer that BlackRock owns, that they sell to their clients like JP Morgan, like Bank of America. But again, they're better, but there's still a lot to take into account. With platforms soon to introduce collateralizing lending, we wouldn't have to sell our Kaspa. This would also relieve a lot of the selling pressure on the price. Also could be a big thing as well, yeah. I mean, I think smart contracts coming to Kaspa, as you see those stuff coming to Kaspa as well, could be a very, very big thing. But again, of course, you have to be very careful with that sort of stuff. You don't want to end up losing your crypto. Some mobiles influencers know they need to give creative predictions to keep their view count high. Yeah, I agree. That's also precisely why I stopped doing my predictions, because this community, don't get me wrong, I very easily could say $10 Kaspa, $15 Kaspa every stream, every video, and get you to believe it. I could. But why would I do that? Because it's not a case of being unrealistic, but it's a case of like, I want to get you to believe in the project and then let you decide for yourself what the price could be. But I don't need to give you these insane price predictions. It's not the premise of that. And also, if I can manage to get a really tight-knit group of all of you amazing individuals to tune into these streams, into the Discord community, and even maybe the VIP, if you get you to stay with me, and I keep giving you reliable alpha sources, then what does it matter about the price? You don't need to hear moonboard prices. You'll hear the information, and you're able to use that information to judge for yourself what that'll mean for the price. But if I made these all moonboard predictions, then yes, you're right. you'll end up seeing those people end up leaving in the future as well. And those people also dump on you as well. People who are moonboys tend to dump on you as well. That's also why it's a very common trait. That's also why I don't want to do it, because I don't want to dump on you. I've mentioned that I hold Kaspa and some other assets. There's some that I keep quiet because, again, that's what I talked to the VIPs about. But again, I hold some assets. And then in regards to KYC 20s, there's only a certain amount I hold of these as well. And I've been transparent about it. I don't mention how much I hold of them, but I hold some. I hold Nacho and Wolfie. I have Wolfie NFT as well because I wanted to get in part of the IGLA pre-sale, which I did. But it is what it is. I'm not massively transparent because, again, some stuff is private and it should be private, but trust is something you've got to build slowly. Either that 4,600, love you to see it close above 4,500. I'm sure we'll see it close above here today. That would be a very big deal. Ethereum peaked at just short of 5k last cycle, so we can get. It looks like Ethereum's really going for today, which is fantastic news. And you're seeing the alts really rally in suit. You know, look at that. Even the Beck's doing all right now, which was doing a little bit worse today. So yeah, the Beck's finding its ground right now. It's still forming, just marginally forming higher highs and higher lows right now. It might also be looking like to make him a little bit. It might also be trying to form another pullback here. Who knows? It does look like a potential for it, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm holding Kaspa forever. I will get loans out of it. I mean, go for it. I mean, that's what Elon Musk does with Tesla. Use Kaspa in a similar way if you want. Will I be in your friends in DC even when you are big? I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have you on Discord anyways. If you've not added me, you can add me. Again, I'm not happy. I'm inclined to add people, especially in this sort of early stages right now. There's people in this community who I'm going to remember for a long time to come. People who have been here every single stream. Natar, who, you know, is the notorious Fudster. I love him. Kryptoni, Mr. Miles, although I wish I didn't remember him. Andy, Wing Hong, Lau, forgetting names because there's so many of you in here. I'm Paul as well, Beebs, and people who see in this chat, people who tend to chat quite frequently, I recognise the names. And these people I will remember. Even if you end up going away, I will remember them. So, yes, please remember me. The members I've been given out by very generous members of the community. Predominantly Kryptoni and Falco and Joking. Joking and those three have been the ones who've been giving out members. And, you know, then you get a lucky dip, basically. Unless you're meaning member for the VIP, then, I mean, you can get a free trial, check it out for yourself, Nate Hart. That's completely up to you. Why everything's suddenly pumping? Because institutions are pumping up Ethereum right now, and Circle's also launching a blockchain, so FOMO's coming in, and they're ready for rate cuts and all that stuff coming as well. Check Quokka on base. I'll check it out real quickly before I wrap up today's stream. I'm not too well versed with Quokka swap. Or you mean that, probably. Oh god, white. Why is it white? Ugh. Oh, it's blinding. Sorry, you get flashbang warning, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's currently doing very well. I'm not sure exactly what this is. I'm guessing it's a meme of some sorts. But I mean, yeah, I mean, the memes is another market in general. You're welcome to get involved if you want to. If I can get back out of white mode now. Don't know why it's done that automatically. You should never do that. There you go. If Kaspa goes to 40 billion market cap, I believe that should go to 1 bill. Potentially. I mean, the typical, you know, I guess the math behind it is that a crypto meme coin, the biggest one underneath it, so Nacho in this regard, it apparently should attain 5 to 10% of the total market of the bigger assets of Kaspa. So in theory, therefore, you should see if Nacho goes, if Kaspa goes to 40 bill, then, you know, Nacho should be reaching above 4, I think. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I think Nacho, again, has still got a long way to go. You know, Nacho right now is sitting at, you know, 17. I got in sub 10 because I waited for a while thinking it'd go down low, and it did. I got in sub 10. I mean, like I said, I was lucky, but there are certain projects in this space that I think are going to do very, very well. But I just didn't deem the need. I also know that this space has got a lot longer to build and grow. So I didn't need to rush into it, and I bided my time. People like Coin Galaxy, Crypto Galaxy, actually say those numbers so audience would hear what they want. You're right. I mean, yeah. Again, I'm not saying that he's incorrect. He might know more than I do. He definitely has a lot more influence than I do. So maybe he knows something I don't, and therefore he's right that maybe Kaspa does go to $10. Who knows? Point being is, I'm not gonna blindly believe it, and I also know there's a lot to take into account for it. You know, a big thing for Kaspa will also be tier 1 listings like Binance. If you get that through, then it'll be great. It works, but I mean, CG also works because he also expanded into the meme coin market, that's where what CG's strategy, which is a fine strategy, and you've got to respect it. He was a moon boy, he's a hype man, and hype is very much associated with meme coins. Now, I'm the optimist, and I'm also quite a FOMO person myself, but I don't talk price. I do price analysis. I do TA stuff a little bit, but I won't talk about predictions so much because, again, there's so much to take into account, and no one has that knowledge unless you're the ones controlling the market. Soon all the ladies will love me because of Kaspa. I will always love you. I love you too, Wing Hong. And no matter how far, I always find you. Crazy stuff. Thanks for the response. His take would explain the cash price action, although it's normal consolidation in my opinion, and the log chart looks crazy strong. Oh yeah, if you look at the log chart for Kaspa, we just showed that earlier this stream actually. Like, it's literally been a long period of just sideways. That's very strong looking, truth be told. And, you know, typically therefore Kaspa will soon start going like that. You'd like to believe. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see indeed. The log does look very strong. And it's doing this again. Can't believe I've been watching these lives for a year almost daily. Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. And you've been the fuzzer the whole way through, and I loved you for that. Don't ever change Nate Hart. It's an animal. Oh right, the asset you come to mention, the Quoxer thing. Fair enough. I mean, again, I'm not invested into it. You want to look into it for yourself and go through it. So they've got a new CEO. I believe that's why they pushed back the AMA until next week. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be making a video on Tibet at some point this week. Sorry again, Kryptoni, because I know he hates me talk about anything else besides Kaspa. But I'll talk about it at some point this week, I believe. Probably maybe on Thursday. We'll see. It's currently Tuesday. I'm going to probably post another Kaspa video tomorrow, and then Zabek on Thursday. And then Friday, if I can. Saturday, probably won't be able to do anything on Saturday. We'll see. And I'll try and see if I can make a market general video at some point as well. You think we have a sell news event dip on 31st or 31st, right, of August? It's possible. It's possible. I think you'll see FOMO leading up to it, and then we'll have to see how successful the launch is. If the launch is a failure or bad like KYC 20 was, then it's a problem. But this is reassuring. We'll have to wait and see. Yes, most likely just look at them having to KYC 20s. I mean, yeah, again, it depends. That's what I mean. It depends. If it's the same level of, if it's the same return as what we saw to KYC 20, then yes, it'll be a sell the news. But if it's successful and you see stuff being built, like, there's a lot of stuff to be looking good here. So everything looks good when it comes out, and people are building and doing something Kaspa immediately, then it may be a small pullback, but not necessarily a sell the news and just dump massively, you know? I minted Nacho. Great stuff, Rosa. Great to hear. Jay is a classic Englishman, no hype. I mean, I just don't want to. I don't want to give false premise or false hope. You know, I just want you. My premise here, what I've tried to do here, is help you build understanding and knowledge of crypto. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, so what I say and does is irrelevant in the most sense. I'm just trying to give you the sources of information regarding crypto, regarding Kaspa, what's coming to the space, and let you therefore learn for yourself. So I have to wait and see, you know. And again, the stuff I provided my VIP gives a lot more in-depth information from institutional side of things as well that gives us more understanding as well. Welcome back, Davis. Me, bro, you're doing very, very well, my man. Just look at the price. If it pumps too much before it comes, then it's a sell the news. Maybe. Crescendo wasn't a sell-off. Yes, Crescendo was something else entirely. Crescendo happened here, and that did very, very well, and then you just saw the market come back, like everything did around that time anyways. We'll see how it is. I do think that it's going to be a god mode sort of thing for Kaspa coming through very, very soon, with AI getting a much better foundation to kind of grow more with ZK and 10 BPS Kaspa. it'll be a playground for it. So Kaspa is, in a very strong spot in that regard. That being said, though, I'll be leaving it short, or not short, even I'll be cutting it off here, family. If you enjoy the stream, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe. We've got 38 likes. If we can make 50 this stream, that would be insane. Leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free community, which is on my homepage or in the description. Equally, the VIP, more in-depth information in there. We're learning a lot more in there, providing information in real time. Max on the gains we make from crypto as well. Also linked down below in the description. That being said, have a great day, good evening, and good night, my family. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.